everyone, this is another episode of DM Talks, a podcast that aims to promote well-being and assist healing, whether that be physically, mentally or spiritually. Ultimately, we just want to be seen in our entirety, and this podcast hopes to show listeners how multifaceted they are. We're all the centre of our own universe, so why don't we do more to better our own existence? Woo. Hi everyone, I'm your host Sarah, and I'm feeling very comfortable today. I'm comfortable because I'm with a lovely guest, a guest that brings so much softness, brings so much joy, brings so much, peace, good vibes, amazing person. I'd like to introduce you to everyone, to Genesia.
Hello. Thank you so much. What a lovely introduction.
Oh, I'm happy that you enjoyed it.
I'm now glowing. Oh. Thank you.
You are already, darling.
Already glowing.
Darling, with that gorgeous beat. I can see it.
Thank you.
For all the people who are watch the visuals are going to be so excited because you've got this beautiful gal here with her bright pink, is it neon pink eyebrows?
Yes.
How did you do that?
So I bleached them on Friday and they're now growing out, so I thought if I just put some colour on them.
Oh, so what did you use colour? I thought you bleached with colour.
No, so I bleached them and then I've just used eyeshadow.
Amazing.
Yeah, why not?
Creativity.
We love a little bit of creativity.
Love that.
In the morning, why not?
Oh, okay, well, so... Well, how have you been today? I'll start with that.
I've been really good. I'm feeling really good. I was saying, I haven't had much to get up for during lockdown, so this was a really nice thing to just, push myself and get myself up and ready and excited for the day.
Oh, no, definitely.
Yeah.
I've been manifesting this episode for a while now, so I'm happy that we were able to get you on. Would you like to tell the podcast listeners what you do, who you are, what kind of person you are? Introduce yourself to the world.
Ooh. I hate this question because now my mind goes blank. So I work in retail, but I'm an actor, aspiring to be anyway.
Amazing.
So I love theatre. Theatre's where my heart is, but I kind of love any kind of theatre, whether any kind of acting, whether that be film or anything, so that's where my heart lies, but I also love modelling and I'm really passionate about encouraging everybody is a beautiful body.
Amazing.
And so that's something that I'm really really passionate about, and I love makeup and I love just style and different people's
your looks are amazing. My favourite so far today is the was it the purple eyebrows or the purple lipstick?
Yes,
I was
yesterday.
Wow. Oh my god, I'm actually such a fan. I'm literally Genesia's next look, who can wait? Oh my goodness, they're amazing. Well, now I'm just so happy because I think one of our first conversations was talking about sense of identity and when you're doing life right when you meet people with similar views to you.
100% agree. 100% agree. I think we met and had one conversation and literally was let's go for a drink. We need to talk more about this. And it was that fulfilling that space where you meet somebody that fills that space that needs to be filled.
Exactly,
because you're yearning for it, and so that person comes
exactly. And oh my goodness, it was so great. I actually want to share a story with listeners. It's actually one of the cutest. It was one of my favourite days with you. So, I remember this one time I wanted to go to different modelling places and I just wanted to go to walk-ins in it. I just wanted to, try and get myself signed, etc., etc. So, I went to go, but I was a bit nervous. I was like, Genesia, come with me. And I think we'd only known each other, 3 weeks by this point.
Yeah, not long at all.
And we went to different models agencies and we had lovely conversations and everything. But the last one we went to, it was honestly, it was one of the best days.
It was incredible.
Shall I say it or should you say it? Because I feel like it's yours.
I can say it, but also you experienced it, so.
No. I'll let you say it. It's your story.
Okay, so we went to this modelling agency and they're big boy
modelling agency.
So we were both really nervous.
Yeah.
And this woman came out and was immediately just how tall are you? And we
and I was just saying, I'm there with my 5'5", sort of 5'7" / South Sudanese self, being
does it matter though?
Doesn't matter. Exactly. I'm he.
But look at my face.
Exactly. I'm the same place where Wen Chow's from. Do you know what I mean? I'm the same place where Ducky Thought's from. But that's another story for another day. Let's carry on, Genesia.
So we were chatting to this woman and she took an interest in me, but she said that I was too quirky for Manchester, in inverted commas, and I was like, great, what does that mean? But anyway, she then asked me what else I did, and I told her that actually my main passion is acting, and she just went, we've got a modelling agent. Acting agency downstairs.
It was talent agency. So actors, influencers. I think it was something like that.
Yeah. It's called She literally said to me, she was like, we've got a acting agency downstairs and the agent is in right now and I want you to meet her.
Yeah.
I think she'd love you. And so she brought her upstairs to me after like toing and froing, and you were sat there like manifesting it the whole time.
Literally, I was sitting there with my fingers crossed being like, please be upstairs, please be downstairs, please be downstairs, please be downstairs.
Yeah.
And like you're able to get talking to her, and honestly, it was so beautiful because even in that moment of like, I don't know, we had ups and downs all throughout that day.
Yeah.
And then we went there and it was like, no, this is why we came here.
Yeah.
We came here for you to meet this individual and for a new sort of chapter in your acting directory or acting life.
Yeah. It was insane. It was crazy. And like, I would never have gone there if it wasn't for Sarah.
Stop.
And also like, I probably could have walked out if it wasn't for Sarah, but Sarah was sat there the whole time, like pushing and like just being so excited. And so she came up and she like signed me, which was mad. And then we literally just walked outside and we were on the street just like screaming and jumping around. And it was the most beautiful thing. And there was like, I just remember there was this builders being like, yay!
And we're like, yes! And I was like, yes! Like literally, it was so...
It was incredible.
It was such a lovely day.
Yeah.
Like, such a good memory.
It was beautiful.
You know what? I'm going to take that love and I'm going to slide straight into the next segment. I'm going to take that love because we're in the divine.
We are,
and the divine is where we nominate a good thing. Nominate a good thing, something that has been positive in our lives. What do you want to nominate for the divine?
So this is something that I've thought a lot about, having talked about the podcast for a long time, and I decided to leave it up to like the day or the morning to like really choose what I wanted to talk about. And something I found really important over lockdown, but over the last couple of weeks, is finding my what's the word?
Boundaries.
Thank you. Yeah, finding my boundaries and really setting those boundaries. Because coming out of lockdown, during lockdown I didn't need to have them with other people because I couldn't.
Oh yeah, maybe give some more context. You were like fully in lockdown. Like you didn't see anyone for like 3 months, did you?
No, I basically had to move out of Manchester, so I was in the middle of nowhere in a house all on my own. And I had great neighbours and stuff like that, but I was literally alone for, I think it ended up being 4 months.
Yeah.
And near the end I started getting to see people, but because it was just me completely on my own, I could set my own like pattern and routine.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't have a massive one, but I had like every day I made sure I'd showered and I'd made sure I'd eaten by like 1 p.m. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. I set those routines.
Yeah.
And so coming out of that, then people being like, I want to see you. Actually being able to set those boundaries and go, I've had 6 months of not like needing to control this. So actually going, I need to regulate for my mental health.
Exactly.
When I see people, when I don't. And I had quite an intense couple of weeks where I was seeing a lot of people and doing a lot of things. And I found it a little bit more easy to set those boundaries and go, actually, no, today I need to just stay in bed, watch some Netflix, have a bath, eat some tasty food and just sit on the sofa curled up and just set those boundaries. Like go out for a walk, things that are just going to be helpful for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I think, if we were to compare, like, because you were in isolation completely on your own, in comparison to me, who like was in isolation with my housemates who are of a similar age to me, it was very independent. It was very like, so we would chill on our own, of course, but like even when we were chilling together, it was socialized. It was like we have similar interests, so it's still fun. But if you're literally on your own in a house, you need to be creative of how you spend your time and how you sort of find interest and find excitement in those days, you know, or even just accept that there's no interest or accept that there's boredom in days, you know, and like that comes with boundary setting as well.
Yeah, and I found coming out of it, I've realised I've forgotten what I've done for a lot of the days, or a lot of the months. It went March, September to me. So that's why I started like a different Instagram just for myself, where every day I pick something that I'm thankful for. Yeah. Because I was finding myself doing that, even when it was just me on my own in the house, just like, hello. I was making sure that I was going, I'm really thankful because I saw a butterfly that landed on the floor, or like there was a cow in my garden. Do you know what I mean? Like just crazy things, but like just little things that I'm thankful for. Or somebody texted me today, like picking those thankful things. Because then equally it makes it easier to set those boundaries, because you go, but will this help me? Will this enrich me today, or is it okay to save it for another day? Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. That's such a lovely nomination for the divine. Like, no, I really, really like listening to that. I'm just gonna get my nomination up.
Definitely.
I want to nominate Rebecca Lolosoli because, well, she's just an inspiration. She founded this village, this tribe, called Umoja, that no men are allowed. And essentially, in the Samburu tribe, in the one that she was brought up with, has like a husband, like family, like within, FGM is really common, and objectifying women is really common. Treating women as property, treating wives as property is really common, and that can even start from as young as 12, you know? So she said enough. She was done with it. She's not having it anymore. So she founded this village called Umoja, where it's a refuge for women fleeing sexual abuse, and she has done, honestly, fucking amazing. Like, they're just so creative. Like, so these women independently, like, run their own business by making beautiful jewellery, like, phenomenal. And they just sell it to tourists, and that's what their income, that's helped with, like, the basics, necessities, and etc. But then with all the, I think, excess profit, they founded a school with that. So all the children that live in that village will be able to attend school. And she was saying, like, she literally, these were her words exactly, she wants to give the children a light that she didn't have in relation to growing up. Because obviously people, like, there's many educated people in Africa, but like the opportunities in certain villages are going to be scarce compared to in the cities. Yeah. And yeah, it was just so beautiful. Like, since then, there's been 2 sort of smaller villages that have developed, and they either practice the same principles, or they allow men to be there, but only to their choice. So in one group, I can't remember the tribe what the tribe was called specifically, but in one group, men are there, but women make all the rules. So like, they'll have to do the physical labor, they'll have to do this, it's all the rules. And I just thought that was just so powerful, because
so powerful.
I mean, the matriarchy, like, that's something that's happening right now in Kenya, whilst we're here in the UK.
In a shitstorm.
Yeah. With Boris Johnson as a Prime Minister who is racist, xenophobic, classist, like Islamophobic, all the isms, all the phobics in it.
All of them.
Like, he's just all of them.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to me, because it shows you the power in women, this power in the matriarchal sort of support and nurturing element, you know, that divine feminine, like reconnecting back to care and support for one another, and not just manipulating environments for your greater good. Like, there'll be times, right, where men try and come to the village to steal because they're jealous of the women's independence, and there'll be literally 12 women in the most gorgeous jewellery about to fight him, and they'll put him in certain clothes and be like, and then kick him out.
We love it.
Energy.
We love that.
Energy. You try and come and take my coin. Let me show you.
Just because they're women does not mean they're not able to protect their village.
But because they're conditioned to view women like that, they refuse to look differently. Like, I was listening to a man that lives at one of these villages, and he was saying, like, he has a daughter, and yes, he had so basically he inherited obviously the traditional values, but when he had a daughter, they changed because he realised the trauma, and it was weird for him to explain it, because he was like, don't get me wrong, I feel strange because my mum's had it, my sisters have it. I shouldn't have had to realise this when my daughters had, but that's why I want to be here, because I want to be in a different environment to once I was known. And to be in that environment, to be a radical thinker to that extent in a small village in Kenya is great.
It's phenomenal.
Do you know what I mean? It's amazing.
I love it.
That's my everything. That's my divine. That's my beauty. Like, everything. It's
and
just...
what I love about that is like a little bit in that whole boundaries thing, like I found it really difficult growing up trying to set boundaries with men, because often men want to have relationships, or not even relationships, but like friendships, but they treat you like the agony aunt. They treat you like, well, I can't talk to anyone about this, so I'm just going to lay all my problems on you and then go, and I'm not going to ask you how you are. And so actually even setting boundaries with men, which they've done to the extent, which I absolutely love, that they've gone, actually we can survive, we can thrive, and we can empower a whole community of women to be making money and profit. You know? Like,
and like your only good will come off it.
Absolutely.
As well. It's when you sort of take away the layer of ignorance and then do the unlearning, which is going to come with active change, you know, active work into helping or supporting or like sharing resources with people that are less fortunate than you, you know. I want to take it back to boundaries though, because you said something really like that just tickled me in a way. I was having this chat with my friend the other day because I was talking about how I sometimes feel like people are very comfortable talking to me about their problems.
Yeah.
Or they encourage me to not talk about mine because I like to think of everything, which is a problem to an extent. But then also, like, there is a difference in overthinking. Like, if you're overthinking and not solving an issue, it's just overthinking. But if you're overthinking and you've used it with a logic and you used it with rationale and you've breathed through it, and you'll know what's the difference. You'll know the difference, you know?
Yeah.
And they apologised to me, and then they were like, you know what, I think this is sort of... Basically, I said to them, like, I don't think it's a fair exchange. And they were like, how so? And I was like, because I feel like I see you in your entirety. However, when I show you mine, you want to cap it to like digest it. You want to like
fit it into a box to understand it rather than it being your entirety.
Yeah. And like it sort of comes with, I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is like boundaries is something really important to me because I choose to see people in their entirety. So like I wish others see me in theirs. Yeah. But what is frustrating is when you're constantly seeing people in their entirety or letting them have time to heal or letting them, you know, do their own thing. But when you want to also check in and let them know about how you are as a person, it's like, oh, well, you should not think about that. Like, you shouldn't, you're putting yourself down too much. Yeah. And it's just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I was just doing that with you, my brother. I was just doing that to you. Like, what about the same? Like,
do you not have the same? You have to have the same energy back, because otherwise all you're doing is giving all of your energy out. And I say men, but it's not just men.
Exactly.
It's any friends and a lot of relationships.
Exactly.
You give all this energy out, and because they receive it and they see you as the giver of energy or the giver of like helping to detangle problems. Yeah. They go, well, they've got my problems under control. They obviously don't have problems. Yeah. And it's like, the reason I've got them under control is because I understand them. So talk to me about mine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like understanding, empathy. It's like my empathy extends to you. And I know yours does for me, but like maybe it's empathy's present, but not sympathy is, because it's like if sympathy was, then it'd be like, I don't know, you're moving a bit quicker, but with empathy, it's like, I understand you, but I can leave you. But with sympathy, it's like...
You need to...
Like, I want to be nurtured, you know? Like, I want to be treated like a person too. Like,
absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's where boundaries come in really important, because if you find you're not getting that from somebody, either being able to have the conversation, set up a boundary where they... Like, if they can't take it from you, if you
can't take it from them.
Yeah, if you can't take it from them, you shouldn't be giving it, like, they shouldn't be giving it to you. I don't know if that made sense, but
I think so.
But like, actually, fine, like, if you end up having that friendship where you don't feel like you can give that part of you to them, then just don't accept it back. Then just say, do you know what I mean? I'm actually going to set this boundary here and we're not going to have conversations like this because you can't take it back.
Definitely. And if they keep on meeting you with the sort of dissonance not to meet that boundary, be like Rebecca, make your own village.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, 100%. Amazing. No, I love that. Amazing. Oh, God.
I need a Rebecca in my life.
You need a Rebecca in your life. I think we can go straight to the next segment now. So this is the next segment, which is called Decoding the Messes. And this involves unpacking something that we consider mess, whether it's online or offline. So in The Divine, we talked about modern day examples of matriarchy, but I know you, Genesia, and you've got some little things to tell us about India. Well, what India... places in India sort of used to be before colonization. So yeah, what happened?
Well, oh my God, what happened?
Where do we start?
Where do we even start? I think it became really apparent to me because I went and worked in India for a couple of months, and I actually chose to go, that's where the work was based, but it was Kerala. And Kerala actually is seen as probably one of the most matriarchal states in India, more just because women are more equal there.
Yeah.
And I would still say not in any society at the moment, sadly, mainly Western, but women aren't seen as equal completely, but they're more so than in other states in India. And it was really beautiful because we were working with women who their husbands were fishermen, and they were then learning English so they could teach or do different jobs and just sustain the family as well. And they weren't put down for it; they weren't shunned for it. But in the whole entirety of India, pre-colonization and the partition, women weren't necessarily equal, I don't think, but they were seen as like, I suppose, like royalty. They were worshipped.
Royalty,
darling. A lot of women were worshipped, and
as they should.
And they were seen as beautiful, and they were seen as godlike, and often you'd find women in temples that would be being worshipped, and I don't necessarily think it was all women, and I don't necessarily mean that meant that they were any better off, but it just means that they were seen in a beautiful way, and they were loved by society, by the communities. And then when Britain came and steamrolled in, they basically just were like, you're prostitutes, you're all disgusting, these women are shameful, and this is like embarrassing. And so then that kind of catapulted the view of women from maybe not having the rights that they should have, but like still being seen as beautiful, to just kind of, we own you, your property, you're not worthy of of rights and things like this. And so that's why Kerala really interested me, because they're like, women have the right if they want to divorce their husband and things like this. So it's that thing of being mixed, like I'm half Indian and half English, like knowing that like half of me colonized the other, do you know what I mean? Like, and that's quite I don't know, it's quite tough, and like being there as a woman and as a light-skinned woman, because I'm mixed, I then look more Western, I'm treated in a very, very different way to like fully Indian women that are either visiting or live there. And then again, it's that status thing. So it's not necessarily about I'm still a woman, but you're light skinned, and you're Western, so you must be rich. You're more beautiful because you have light skin. I'm just mixed with white. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so there's still that divide, even in that like status thing of the darker your skin color, like the
more savage the abuse.
The more fucking savage the abuse. Exactly. Like, it's disgusting. But then just because I'm from England and I'm mixed white, like I'm treated better. But even still, if I lived there, I'm still a woman. So I'm like,
I'm still thrown off by what you said. Like, half of me colonized the other half of me, and like even that statement, like that is that's literally like so hard for the mixed race person's experience. I was listening to I love this woman so much. Her name's Gabby her name's Gabby, but it's like a baby face dream doll Gabby. I was like something like that on Insta.
Cute.
She talks about spirituality and the use of intuition and oracle cards and spirituality, and I think she does have European descent in her, but she also has, I want to say, like Latin America, I want to say, but I'm not too sure. So obviously, I want to check that about that. But she literally was talking about like spirit. She's like, European descent is there. That whole history is there. So you need to be cautious of the language you use in today.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, there's so many greater forces outside of us, and because we're sort of individuals breaking intergenerational traumas to some degree, it's so much weightier. So when you said that statement, I was like, oh wow, like, but then also that's why it's so important for mixed race people from various identities or various like dual heritages need to have their opportunity to speak, because everyone's experience is going to be different. And like, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a dark-skinned black woman. Like, I'm not gonna be sitting here and be like, oh yeah, race. Like,
of course,
there's levels to it.
Yeah, of course there is. Yeah.
You need to show, like, I don't know. I don't want to say. I was about to say a word, but that wasn't right. You have to show, like, I don't know, kindness to yourself whilst you're learning, because it's fucking intense.
Absolutely.
Like, what you said just shook me, and I'm like, do you know what I mean? I'm dark-skinned, like, I've experienced racism, let alone like thinking about how it would be to be in that country, knowing what I know, having the experiences of what I've had, and then going to find myself in India.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
How was that for you?
I found it really beautiful. Like, I've been 3 times. The first time I went, I was like 11, so I don't really remember it much, but like I just did all the big spots, went to like see family and stuff, went to Delhi, Mumbai. And then the second time I went, I spent my whole time in Kerala. Yeah. Which was beautiful, and it's stunning there. And then the third time is when I just travelled. Yeah. And I went with my friend, and we kind of went all around the west side of India, down to the south and then to the north. And it was really interesting seeing how, yes, it's one country, but how like different it is. Yeah. But then we went to Punjab, so my family's Punjabi. Yeah. And my friend drove me, and like we met somebody in India, and she drove us 9 hours from Delhi to Punjab, just because she was like, you can't come here and not go to your country, like your county, your state, like you have to go. Yeah. And I literally, like, just thinking about it, I literally stepped out of the car, and I was surrounded by like turbans and women that looked like me and my family, and it was
I love that,
breathtaking. And it was chaos, but it was beautiful. And like having gone to, like, my friend who I went with was white. And we did everything together. We spent every day. I think there was one day where we spent like 4 hours apart. We spent every time together. And I will say to this day, we had a very different experience. Yeah. Because for me, it's home. Like for me, there's a part of me rooted there. And something that I really struggle with, because I know that there's a problem in India with how they treat women. Like, I know that there's a massive problem with misogyny and the patriarchy, and I really struggle with how women are treated there. But then also, sometimes the way people speak about it that don't know India just go, oh, you wouldn't want to go there as a woman, though. Yeah. And it's like, you're writing off such an incredible diverse, beautiful, loving country. You're right. Where you go, whether as a Westerner, as a traveller, or even as a brown person, as an Indian person, you go and you're met with so much love, and you need something, they don't speak English, they'll find someone that does. You need to get somewhere, someone will help you. Yeah. And some people will try and rip you off in the meantime, but like they look after you, and it's so but like... Also, like, I know what you mean, as in, they may rip you off, but it's like, rip me off. Do you know what I mean? Rip me off. Do you know what I mean? Like 200 rupees is £2. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like, like... Don't get me wrong, obviously everyone's financial position is different. Yeah, of course. However, like, I know, like, if I'm going to, like, okay, so let's say a white person, right, comes to this country and they've been able to save whatever to go there, whatnot. That shop owner doesn't know that. No. They just see that there's a white person. Yeah, absolutely. And they see the white person, and they see the white person who's come to tourism. So if you want to rip me off, rip me off. Rip me off. The fact that I could be, I don't know, fucking in Parliament, I could be on the street, you don't know that. No idea. So if you're in that position, be a shopkeeper, naggle, like, do you, like, take my money. Yeah. Take my money. Like, I honestly, like, when people say, oh yeah, I got ripped off for this much there, I'm like, and you come back to your house in this area where you've got...
You're paying rent that's triple the price it should be. You're like buying food from a supermarket that's like triple the price of another. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're being ripped off daily. And allow this man his daily food.
Exactly. And realistically, the amount you're getting ripped off in that cell on while you're traveling is so much less than you getting ripped up in this Western society.
100%.
Not in this economy, you mad?
Not in this economy.
You're funny.
No,
But yeah, no.
100%. 100%. I think that's the thing. I really struggle with hearing how bad India is, because I'm a little bit protective of it, because I go,
you would be,
that's my home, but then also I know that it's awful, but it's when people go, oh, I wouldn't let my daughter go to India on her own, and I'm like, but at the end of the day, like, I'd be scared if I didn't live in England sending my kids. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Potentially to a part in England, a place in England. Like,
of course.
I'd be terrified to go to America. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
India's only different because it's culturally different.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing for me is I loved it, and I absolutely. I had the best time, but especially when I was working there for 2 months, I was working with women.
Yeah. What were you doing?
So we went to different places. So there was one place where we worked with underage girls who got pregnant.
Okay.
And so that was already like set up, but like we worked and helped them and spent time with them. And we worked with women who'd set up before, so the fishermen's wives.
Yeah.
And they basically they put money in each month. And then if anybody ever needs to borrow money, they just take it out of the communal pot. But then because everyone keeps putting in, again, gets divided at the end of the year, and then like everyone gets their money. And do you know what I mean? And it's that thing of it all goes in to support everybody if anyone needs it. And so we were just there basically just teaching them English and just having conversation. It was more just having conversations with them.
Just being support.
Yeah,
just being supportive.
Exactly, because they knew English, but it's that thing of you learn it in a book, and it's a lot different to just having conversations.
Oh, completely.
And so it wasn't that we were going in being like, we're going to fix you and then we're going to leave. It was just, you've already got this gorgeous community.
Yeah.
Let us support you and just chat to you in English about, let's talk about women's problems. So that was a lot of the things we do. We go in and talk about women's problems. Yeah. There was a place that was, it was like a 2-week intense school for Indian people to learn English. Okay. So you can't speak anything other than English while you're there.
Oh, man.
And the idea is you come out of it and then you can work abroad and you've got this English.
That's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's so good. So it's like this massive establishment, and we went in once a week and we would talk about women's issues where there's 90% men, and we'd talk about things like abuse and this is a trigger warning, but like things like rape and safety of women and things like that in society and in their communities and on trains and out and about and things like time curfews. And we were like, how do you feel about this? And so we were getting them speaking in English, but also getting them to think and challenge. And some weeks we'd have men that were so channeled into this thought that women need to be locked up by 8 p.m. It's their fault if this. And then other times we'd meet these people and they'd be like, well, I think that women shouldn't be going out. And it's like, but what about the men? And then you'd see them change their mind. And so it was really beautiful watching people being able to have these conversations that they wouldn't necessarily be able to have. So we were basically just there to talk to people, which is my ideal. Like, it's so good.
I love that.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
That just sounds amazing. Like, I literally was, like, whilst you were talking, I was just eager to sort of know what the response was and how, I guess, effective. Because, there are so many narratives that are push narratives that are against women, but because they've been internalized, they're reinforced by society.
Absolutely.
So like, if you've got, I'm just thinking about you and your mate in a group of 30 people. So like, right, we're gonna talk about women.
Honestly,
Like,
it was like it was. To be fair, I can't say a favourite because I loved all of them. But it was one of my favourite times because it was we were being able to have these like really intense conversations, but we had as much time as we needed to have with them. And sometimes you come out of it angry. You come out angry and you go, I can't believe that I've just heard a man tell me, a woman, that I deserve to be treated a certain way if I dress a certain way. Like, I am so angry. But then other times you come out of it and go, but equally it's challenged him and he's thought about it and he's never had this conversation before, so maybe he'll go and, do you know what I mean, like maybe have this conversation elsewhere.
Exactly. But do you know what, it's that seed. You put the seed in there. If I use that seed to take my independent study and learn more and reflect more and help more, great. But because the seed is there, it makes me think twice, and I want to make you think twice, because you don't know how many people you're actually saving. Because let's say you spoke to a man who was questioning how he thought about equality, etc. And then he uses, from your conversation, he looks at women differently when we're at work. And maybe he's, I don't know, encouraging them in more initiatives. Yeah. I don't know. I can't watch him. I will never know his story. But at least it's planted the seed, you know? And I think, like, especially when you have these talks or moments or, like, you know, when you have these sort of, like, breakthroughs with people, but you've known these people, like, in not short periods of time. It's really, like, I don't know, motivational, because it's like, I don't know what is going to happen next, but at least I've given you this, you know? And at least that sort of is kind of, it helps me as well. It makes me feel good about myself, because it's like I'm using what I know to help others, you know?
And I think it's a conversation we've definitely had before, where it goes, I'm not here to completely educate you, but planting that seed means that you're going to go away and educate yourself.
Exactly.
We'll have those conversations. And so, like, for example, like as a woman, for example, I'm not here to sit every man down and mother them and go, this is how you need to treat women. No. I'm going to spark that conversation, inspire that, and challenge you to keep having these conversations, educating yourself. And it's like this man that lives in the village, surrounded, I mean, in a woman's only village. Like the fact that he's clearly at some point by his daughter being pushed, and so then that's then changed his whole life.
Exactly.
You know?
And like even now, like that was one example of one man, but there's multiple men live that same village. They don't have daughters, but they the community. They like well, no, they don't. They believe in the quality, but they also like the community. They feel supported, and they feel much more at peace there than they did at a sort of a more patriarchal community like the Samburu tribe.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Yeah, it just shows you, like, I find it. Oh, I'm just in my feelings, because I just feel like women are so powerful. Women are so beautiful. Women are just so fucking.
Yeah, I honestly, when I say I love being a woman,
I love it,
and I never struggled with being a woman, but I don't think I realised how much I loved it until, like, I met people who, for example, like, didn't feel comfortable with their pronouns. And so then either become non-binary or transition or whatever. But I've realised more recently how much I love being called she, her, like a woman, like, oh, this woman I met today, like things like that really solidify in me, like, I love being a woman, and I feel really lucky to be able to say that I feel validated by my pronouns. But I've realised it really recently in, like, the last 6 months, of just how incredible it is to be, like, to hear, like, she or her or woman, like, and feel empowered by that.
No, definitely. Like, you know what, you've actually, like, because I've known you for ages now, and, like, that's made me really, like, it's like showing a piece. It's showing gratitude in experiences, or showing gratitude in things that are common to us, or like that we don't need to experience. You know what I mean?
Recognising that privilege.
Exactly, recognising your privilege, even the fact that, like, I feel validated by the sense of she. That's something that I can feel good about today. Like, that's literally innate. It's me, you know, and like. It just shows that, like, I don't need to just be happy by something that I've just bought. I can be happy with myself, you know? And, like, that might be sparked by someone being like, oh, yeah, she. But also, like, I have the privilege of owning it, you know? Like, I
owning
don't,
being a woman. And,
exactly. Like, some people don't have that opportunity to explore their femininity. And that is unfortunate in their personal circumstances, but also it's reinforced by an abusive, discriminating and violent society, which to people that that go outside the binary, you know. Absolutely. And I think it's really you've really made me think there. I like that.
It's something I've really been, like, stewing over and thinking about, and just, like, how, like, I think it made me check my privilege of, like, how lucky I am that I hear my pronouns daily and they are correct, you know. Like, I'm not having to worry about going into a new situation, but I know that when I do hear them, I'm validated.
No, definitely. No, you're so right, because that's the thing with cis, like, when
cis, so we're never gonna have to worry about that. But no, I love being a woman.
Love being a woman.
So
amazing.
Much.
No, honestly, that was brilliant. I've got actually a few questions for you.
Of course.
So in Decoding the Messes, I know that we wanted to talk about body positivity.
Yeah.
I know it's a big subject to you, as you are. Everybody follow Genesia on Instagram, like, if not now, by the end of this podcast, because honestly, her Insta is fire. Outfits on fleek.
Thank you.
Face on fleek.
Thank you.
Hair on fleek. Everything.
Yeah, my little bald bean.
I love
flashing
it.
about. Little buzz
So
head.
yeah, what does body positivity mean to you?
Okay.
That's a big question.
Big question, but a beautiful one. I think it changes daily.
Yeah.
Sometimes body positivity is just being able to get up and look in the mirror. Sometimes it's being able to sit and feel comfortable touching and feeling and understanding your body.
Yeah.
Other days it's going, I am the perfect human. I've been made to be exactly who I am, and I am exactly, in my own physical form, exactly who I am. You know?
Sauce.
Yes.
Love it.
And so I think
We got out the sauce.
all the sauce. I don't think anybody should be boxing body positivity, because to each person it's going to fit into a different thing. Body positivity was started by fat women.
Yeah.
And I
fat,
think
queer black women.
yeah, literally. And so I do see that it's being whitewashed and commodified and shrunk.
Yeah.
And so that's why, to me,
Sorry, yeah.
Do you know what I
just
mean?
had a flashback to like ASOS when it says plus size, and you're like, that is definitely not plus size.
That's a size 12 woman stood there.
That's a size 12 woman, isn't it?
Yeah, and like I have always been like, I've not been above average, I've been average, but I've always felt like the bigger person out of my friends and things, and actually I'm an average size. I'm now potentially a little bit bigger, but I'm about an average size. And so I think it's that, to me, body positivity is knowing that your body is there as a function. It's there to hug your friends. It's there to smile. It's there to love. And actually what really matters, like the person really, what matters is your heart, it's your love, it's your cares, it's your personality. It's what you give out to the world.
Yeah.
If I didn't have this body, I wouldn't be able to express to you how I feel, how you make me feel, like how much I love you, how much, like, I wouldn't be able to sit and spend time with you. And so I
was looking in your eyes like, wow, I love you.
We just a kiss now.
I'm just looking at you like, I feel like we're getting engaged or something. Sorry, go on.
Will you marry me? But I think that's the thing of body positivity can be anything you want, but as long as you boil it down to, at the end of the day, your body, regardless of ability, race, gender, sexuality, like it's there to love and it's there to to be a human. And so regardless of what it looks like, whether you see someone walking down the street and you go, I would never wear that outfit, but that doesn't matter, because they've got people in their life that they love. And so regardless if you show up in mismatching shoes or your makeup's a bit wonky, or it doesn't matter.
It's theirs.
Because it's their own truth, like it's their own physical form that they are able to embody just to be around other people and to love and to spread that. Like, so I don't give a shit what somebody else looks like. If they're gonna inspire me or challenge me or push me today, or make me feel like loved or empowered, or like, then it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter, full stop, what somebody looks like. And so for me, I think lockdown's been really tricky for everybody, because we haven't really been able to go out and about, so that means not as much exercise. That means obviously eating when you want to eat, and so.
But not even, like, even the let's say, okay, I've got a job, right? And my job was 9 to 5. Now I'm putting on my work clothes at 8 and I'm going to job at 9. But if I was working at home, am I putting myself still in that clothes? Am I setting my mind for my work day? Or am I rolling out of bed and just doing my work? It sort of, outfits and physical expression sort of help with the routine of life.
Absolutely agree.
And people don't... It's mad how
you don't
mindful...
notice it.
Yeah, it's a mindful
gone.
activity that actually is so good for our mental health.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I said before, like, the one thing I was making sure I'd do in my routine was showering every day. Even though I was alone, like, I could stink if I wanted to. But I that was a part of my routine that I needed. And I think people have gained weight and lost weight during lockdown.
Yeah.
And I think people are coming out of it and they're having conversations like, oh, now I need to lose this weight.
Yeah.
Again, trigger warning, talking about weight loss. But like, now I need to lose this, or now I need to fit into this particular outfit, or now I'm going back to work, I've got to fit into this. And it's like, actually, we've just gone through we're still in a global pandemic. The fact that your body is a little bit different is obviously, for each individual person, is going to be mentally challenging in different ways.
Exactly. It's theirs.
But exactly. But I would say the sad thing about the fact that we worry about that is because we don't have enough body positivity in the world.
Yeah.
And because we're forced into these boxes and society forces us to look a certain way. And actually, I think I've been having really beautiful conversations with people being like, but you've come out of it, you're alive, and now you're able to see your friends again. Do they care that you've put on X amount of weight or lost X amount of weight, or you're not wearing this particular outfit because you can't fit into it? No, they care because they are seeing you in physical form, and they've only seen you on Zoom, and now they get to see you in the flesh, and they get to hug you and love you.
I think that's why I'm looking at you so intensely.
Yeah, so well.
I'm literally there like
literally. And I think that's something that we really need to hold on to, is that at the end of the day, like, weight can fluctuate, like breakouts can fluctuate. Like, I don't know, like a good haircut will come and go. Like you'll wear some nice clothes one day and then another day you'll go, oh, I didn't feel this outfit this morning. But regardless of that, your friends and your family and your relationships around you are there. So that's why you're on this earth. It's not to fit in a certain outfit. It's not to look a certain way or look exactly like a different person. It's to love, and to be a human is to be in a community and have friendships.
That was amazing. That was honestly one of the best answers. We need to get a clip of that. Honestly, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
So, right. I hear no lies. I hear no lies. And, sorry, but that came out of nowhere. I honestly, like, you're so right. All of that is true, because the thing is, body positivity is so personal, but then also it's so selective, and the way that the media sort of showcase body positivity is also so triggering for others. Like, it's annoying because, like, trigger warning, even the way that we talk about fatness and weight. I want to talk about fatness actually in particular to weight, 100%. Just because language around fatness is so unsettling. And people don't realise how bad it is. Like, I thought, don't get me wrong, we could talk about weight now and it could be discomfortable, and even for listeners, they might not want to talk about it. However, even if you look at talking about obesity or fatness in doctors' sorry, I'm trying to think of this. In like GP consultations between patients and doctors, it's actually really hard for the patient to communicate this as well as the doctor. So you find two individuals wanting to get information from one another to help with healthcare, or help if it is a healthcare, because there's nothing that links fatness to being unhealthy. There's only like individual, but that's a personal thing. Like,
absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Am I going to go to everyone's GP and be like, are you this, are you that?
That's the point.
But the discriminating factor, and the reason why I bring this up, is that it's one of the first things that is so normalised within society. Like, even when you're in primary school or teenager, the way that people talk about fatness and discriminate about fatness is everywhere. It's apparent. It's so in your
films.
It's
constantly. Oh, I look a bit fat today. Does this make me look fat?
Do you know what I mean? Everything. And it's mad because it's uncomfortable talking about it, but then when it's uncomfortable talking about it in an environment where you're seeking help, you're seeking comfort, and you actually want to improve a health outcome, whether that is losing weight or adding on weight, whatever it may be, how do you move forward if the conversation is so stigmatised?
It's stigmatised, absolutely. Like, people... because I say it a lot, like, I say, like, I have fat, like, I have body fat. And so that means I can say that I am fat. Like, and then the amount of times people go, oh, no, you're not. And it's like, I have a mirror. Like, I'm not sitting here going, I'm disgusting, I'm ugly, I'm grotesque. I'm sitting here going, I have body fat. Like, I'm fat. I'm still a fucking boss bitch, and I'm still beautiful.
Do you know what I mean? You're sexy as hell.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yum. But the stigma behind the word fat is that it's grotesque. And that word alone, having such an awful stigma, and like, yes, people use things like curvy and chunky. No, call me fat, because I'll call you skinny, so call me fat. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll call you thin, call me fat. Like, it's a word that I'm reclaiming, and like and I've had fat friends say to me, like women that are bigger than me say, oh, it's really weird, like, I don't see you as a fat girl, like, because like, I see people like my size as a fat girl, and I'm like, but I have body fat, like, and so technically, like, anyone with body fat, like, has fat, but like, if you're, like, I think above the average, using the term fat should not be negative. It's I don't know if you're smoking, drinking, doing drugs on the weekend.
Do you know what I mean?
So, but like, you're a size 10, and so I'm not going to talk to you about your health. But just because I'm a size 18 and I like a nice pizza and some chocolate, you're going to sit here and try and talk to me about my health? Really?
And that's what another thing that pisses me off. It's that thing of, you see it with Piers Morgan all the fucking time. It's like, I don't even know why do I even bring his name on my podcast? Okay, sorry. I don't know where that came from. Ew. I'll call him Mr. M. So yeah, Mr. M, you see it all over that shitty show that he does. Yeah. And he talks like he's a medic. Yeah. He talks like he's well, no, actually, no. He wouldn't talk like a medic because he's really offensive. Yeah, he's very offensive. He talks like he thinks he is. Yeah, he talks like he's an expert. He talks like he thinks he has expertise. Yeah. And this is another reason why I don't think people should talk about other people's bodies and like at all. Like, it's different. Like, so let's say if my mum, said something, or my auntie, do you know what I mean? If my family or a close friend said something to me, and that's not even just them looking at my body, that's them looking at how I've been acting, my behaviour, how am I thinking, how am I communicating with them, that's when they're going to talk to me about how express. But for some random individual to be discriminative, but then also offensive because my body size, that is outrageous. It's so outrageous.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's that thing. I talked a little about my Instagram like a couple of weeks ago, probably longer. Time's a construct. And I was saying, like, as we're coming out of lockdown, we need to be realising that commenting on people's body in any way, shape or form is not helpful. Because if you're saying, oh my God, she's really put on weight, not helpful, because what you're doing is stigmatising it more and saying that that's bad and making it negative. Yeah. If you go, oh my God, wow, like, you've lost weight, you look really great.
Yeah, then you're reinforcing
not only to that person that, like, if you lose weight, you are more valuable, but it also reinforces to you that, like, oh shit, I need to lose weight in order to be valuable too. And you're also, whoever's hearing that is then going, oh, well, they respect this person more because they've lost weight.
Exactly.
And it can be the other way around, but it's often, it's the fat phobia side of it, of you're not worth, like, there's that phrase, like, there's a skinny person inside every fat person. That's fucking bullshit. Yeah. Because I am a person fully whole as myself. Like, just because I'm fat doesn't mean that I'm any less worthy of anything.
Yeah, multifaceted, baby.
Exactly. And I think, like, I'm really trying to just stop commenting on people's appearance, full stop. And, like, I will comment on your dress sense in a positive way, obviously. Like, on your makeup, on your hair, like, you look good. But never once will I go, wow, that's really, like, that really, like, flatters your waist. It looks really, like, slim. Like, I'm really trying to cut out that language. And obviously it's ingrained in us.
Because I think it's it's all like conditioning, and now we're all unlearning like loads of conditioning, and I guess because so much language was normalized in the previous, we struggle now because we don't know the language for now. But then also it's like,
but we don't need language to be talking about people's bodies, unless, like, oh my God, you just did a marathon, you're so strong, or like things like that, like you can climb that tree, or like you got up and walked to the other side of the room. Like, different types of bodies can do different things, and so actually just not commenting, I don't think we need the language. You don't, unless you're describing me and you go, the bald fat girl, everyone's gonna know who you mean, you know. Like, that's not you judging it, that's not, like, that's,
you're so right.
Do you know what I mean? You're using an adjective, is that the right word? Like, rather than a description of, like, rather than a comment on it, like, oh, like, she's really fat and, like, it's not great, or like, she's really put on weight, or she's really lost weight. It's just,
no, I know what you mean. It's weird.
You just exist in this space.
Because the way that you're talking about it, it's like the way that I make sense of what you just said now is oh, Sarah, like, that's that black girl over there, instead of being like, oh, the black girl. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, like, if you're saying that person's black because I'm in a room full of people, like, you're looking for me. Yeah. Like, duh. Like, do you know what I mean? But I mean, if I have colourful hair as well, normally it's orange, normally it's blue, it's different colours, you can use that too.
Spice it up.
But
absolutely.
That's not gonna offend me. It's the fact of the comment on the blackness. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're saying, oh, yeah, she's black, I'm like, duh. Like, do you know what I mean? But if you're saying, oh, the black, like, it makes it like...
And it's when people go, the black one. And it's like, well, why are you shy? Say with your chest.
Exactly.
You're not shy of it, so why should you be?
Exactly. So like I find it really interesting. Another thing I actually want to talk about is the sort of the whole trajectory of body positivity, because that's the thing. Like we're here and we're confident, but that might not be the case for all listeners. But then also it might not be the case for all of us. Like it might not be the case for yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just because I'm confident right now doesn't mean that I'm confident I'm going to be in a couple hours, you know? Yeah. So like I want to ask you about sort of your introduction into body positivity and how you think that's been shaped over the years. Like what do you think, like some moments in your body positivity life?
Body positivity life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I absolutely stand by that. Like, yeah, I might feel confident in 1 minute, but the next minute I might feel completely different. So,
do you know what I mean?
It's important to remember that just because you can have these conversations doesn't mean that you have to have this like brave face. I do say fake it till you make it, because it does help.
It does help, but then also you have to find the balance within self, because we all know each other. We all independently know ourselves best. Yeah. So like we need to have a balance of like, I am that bitch and I need to pull myself up and I need to know myself, but then also like, oh, I feel really shit and I feel kind of insecure today.
And I need to understand it. Yeah, and it's about not like ignoring it, but it's about understanding it and sitting in it and going, why? Who is capitalising on me feeling shit right now? Okay, sit.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, and fuck you up. Like, no, I feel good. Like, so, but in terms of my journey, yes. So in terms of my journey, I couldn't tell you when it fully started. Yeah. But I remember being tiny. Yeah. And literally, I think I said to my mum or somebody, and I was like, oh, am I fat? And I think it must have been my mum, and she was like, what even made you say that? Yeah. Because my mum... that
language.
Yeah, because my mum... And I said it in a negative way. And my mum really tried like not to bring diet culture and stuff like that into the house. She tried really hard with that. And so she was shocked, because she was like, I don't understand where you've got that from.
Find out on these streets.
Yeah, she's there like, I'm going to come find these people that are putting these like thoughts into my child's head. And then I think it must have been... I think things like YouTube and Instagram and social media really helped me, because I was seeing just my small group of friends at school that were all a lot shorter than me and a lot slimmer than me. And then I was on YouTube and Instagram, and I was seeing all these people, mainly YouTube actually at the time, because I didn't have Instagram, but all these women that I was like, oh my God, like that body type is like mine. Her body type is like mine. And I was seeing more of these images. And somebody that I first ever followed was Grace Victory.
Hey,
yes.
I love her, honestly.
So much.
In this Instagram influencer, I don't know, these games, these streets or whatever, she was the foundation. She was literally number one. Like I didn't even watch, I didn't even, it's weird, like I think it took me a while to embrace my femininity, but she always made me feel there.
Absolutely.
She always made me feel there from as young as 16.
Yeah.
And, I love her. Sorry, go on.
No, I love, and she's pregnant.
I know. I'm so happy for her.
I'm so happy. Yeah. I'm like living it as if she's my mate. But anyway.
Do you know what I mean?
But I think about 14 or 13 maybe, I started watching The Ugly Face of Beauty, and she would talk about all of these taboos and talking about being like a fat woman, but also being... Yes!
Just sending some love. Sorry, guys.
There's some Instagram love. Instagram pops off. And that I'll get onto, because Instagram has highs and lows. But like, I think I must have been like 14 or whatever. Yeah. And she was like, I didn't see myself on YouTube as a fat black woman. Yeah. So I'm going to put myself here. I'm going to be that platform.
But do you know what I also love that she said? She was like, I don't see anyone on YouTube that speaks like me. I don't know anyone who talks like common. No. And I think, like, to be fair, like, even the whole, I don't know, concept of common, or I don't even know what it is, because that's the thing. So my friends speak like that. Yeah. Like, I, to a degree, probably speak like that. Do you know what I mean? Well, I don't know, like, the Windsor is in me, in it. But, like... But, like, I love that, because the thing is, language can be so intimidating.
Yes.
So if you've got someone who talks like me or talks like Grace Victory, who's just like, let's go on. Or even Amber, my best mate who does the grief gang. She's talking about grief, but you hear like, oh, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
It's
really soft, it's
relatable.
relatable, and it's making me feel comfortable. And the fact that like I can see myself in you, so I can move forward with you.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I think a lot of times these spaces can be dominated by jargon and words that you kind of don't understand. And so simplifying it and just making it accessible.
Yeah.
And especially I think Grace did it because I grew up with her. And so it's that thing of it's relatable and it's understandable. And so me as a little 13-year-old was watching her videos and I understood.
Yeah.
And so she was, I think, potentially like the benchmark for me, like the person that I remember vividly in my history. And then I think I realised that I was always going to be taller or bigger.
Yeah.
And I just started having to come to terms with it. And then I shaved my head.
Yeah.
And
how old were you?
I was 17, which baffles me now that I did it.
Yeah, you did it quite young then.
My God.
Yeah.
And I was at
balls,
school.
honey.
It was mad. So I did it because my mum's mum, my nanny, was diagnosed with ovarian cancer when I was 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And then when I was 12, she passed away. And she was like one of my favourite women in the whole world. We were literally, it's like we were the same person.
Yeah, of course.
And she would have probably, if she found out that I shaved my head because of her, she'd be fuming.
Yeah.
She'd be like, why are you doing this? But she was such an inspiration to me, even from I only knew her to a young age. But so when she died, I then found out more about ovarian cancer and was like, actually, I need to raise awareness for this.
Amazing.
And my hair was just damaged anyway. And somebody just went, ha ha ha, shave it. And I was like, nice, I will. And I think it took me about a year to really get the courage to do it. I think 6 months, and then it was 6 months before I shaved it. I set up an event and I did a whole massive event for it and did all of this stuff.
Yeah, amazing.
And so I raised money to shave it, and it was brilliant and it was amazing and it was so much fun. And I did it just to do it for that reason. And then I started growing it immediately. I didn't keep it shaved. And I think I got to a year and a half, 2 years after I'd shaved it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get it gone again.
Yeah.
And it was that thing of actually when I shaved it, I realised what I've done is I've shed this idea of what femininity should be. And I've gone, I am so defined by me as a woman, just being a woman, not by a particular part of me being feminine. And so I found that really kind of the jump off point for me going, I'm going to be completely myself, unapologetic. And that's when I just started going, thank you, I'm a queen.
Oh my God.
And so I think that was the most pinnacle moment is where I truly became really who I was.
Genesia. I'm falling for you throughout this whole episode. I'm literally looking at you wow. wow. Honestly, amazing.
Thank you.
Beautiful. It's kind of mad, kind of interesting. In my culture, when mother or an elder woman passes, you shave your head?
Yeah, it's similar in India, in some southern states. When the kid's really young and newborn, you sacrifice your hair, and then if somebody dies, you also in mourning shave your head too. So it's really similar. Yeah,
it's kind of weird how it's all sort of connected.
Yeah. The fact that it was my nanny who died, and then that's crazy.
Yeah,
I love that.
No, I think what you've shown is independence. You've also shown unapologetic attitude, and you've also shown sort of commitment to loving yourself, and I think that's really powerful when you're constantly advertise things that say reject or buy this, you could be better, you could do better. I actually went on I'll see if I can get the Instagram up now, but I was looking at two covers of Cosmopolitan between 2008 and 2020.
Interesting.
And in the 2008 one, they were projecting loads of here it is. Lose weight while you eat. Am I normal down there? You 22 smart sexy stuff that every Cosmo girl needs. I don't know, it's just so Lauren Conrad was on the cover, whatever, etc. But now 2020 you got Clara Amfo, right?
Babe.
who is the cover girl of a magazine that is global, you know, like that's the shit that I should have been seeing when I was
absolutely
15, 16. Like that's the stuff that would have reminded me, like, oh, even if my black experience isn't too great right now, theirs a black experience is, so maybe I can get there one day, you know? And I think
you have that representation.
Exactly.
So
and it's interesting when we talk about body positivity, because I think with me, because my race is so, like, obviously my race is my body, innit? Like, and it wasn't just I am black, is the fact that I am dark skinned, you know, like colorism was so ingrained and so interlinked with what my body perception, how I viewed myself, how I viewed, how I knew that others would view me. Like it really, really was a very like toxic place, because that's the thing. Like if I'm personally not doing too great because of my own problems, and then I'm met with various individuals putting their problems onto me because I'm darker, but then they want to give me that extra harshness because I'm dark skinned. Like I had to grow up being dark skinned. I had to deal with those thoughts, those feelings, those attitudes towards dark skin on my own, but then I had to deal with everyone else's attitudes towards dark skin. Like I always remember, like someone was talking about South Sudan in like my biology class, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm from there, and my teacher was like, yeah, I know. Right, she just said that, and it was just so quick and assertive, and I was just like,
you're shutting that right down, aren't you?
I mean?
Wow,
I was like, great. And I remember when she said that, and literally, like, let's say fast forward maybe a year or stuff, like, this is when I'm probably in a very depressive headspace, and colorism was so influenced by that, because it was like the darker you are, the savage the abuse, do you know what I mean? Like, it was fucking intense.
Vicious,
And, like, I'm not the only dark-skinned person that has experienced that. However, because I was the only dark-skinned person present, I was the only one who could digest it, understand it.
You're a buffer for it, every single person.
Exactly. Yeah. And I got into the habit of, because I was only the only dark person in said places, a lot of people would use me as an opportunity to learn. And it's like, no. I have to deal with my own shit on my own. So do you. You know?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I bring this in relation to like body positivity, because like when I was so, I guess, down about colorism or down about being dark skinned or however you'd like to call it, because it's so linked to my body, when I was able to like take that away or like sort of love myself in relation to my colour or relation to my hue, because I'm black, but not many, like, I think me and my brother are probably the darkest, but like my mum's light, my dad's lighter. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the thing, colorism is present in families.
Literally
as well.
in families. Literally different generations, siblings.
Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? So, but because I was able to sort of tackle it with, I guess because I was able to tackle it when I was young and realised that I need to be strong in self, everybody, like, to just ignore and dismiss and sort of, like, push backwards all the external pressures, I was going to be happy in self. And I think that's obviously influenced my relationship to my mind, my spirit, who I hang around with, everything. Because, like, if you're the darkest person in a room and you're constantly getting to take the mick out of it, and then you realise that you have love for self and that is complete, but everybody else is doing their own shit, you can create distance. And because, like, when I was younger, I had I grew into a body before my friends, right? Like, I had like people used to call me fat, like,
really?
Yeah, like, people used to call me fat, but when I look at pictures now, like, I don't look fat. Like, I was just size 12. But because I was size 12 in year 10...
than other people,
it was just a bit like, you're so big. But anyway, because I experienced racism and weightness, because I wasn't fat, but like that's what they were projecting onto me at such a young age. I was able to also reject it. But because now, like, if you see me, like, well, no, it's a bit of a story. Essentially, like, I lost a considerable amount of weight in one of the later years. One of my like later years in my teenage years. But I saw the difference in how people would treat me, and it was fucking mad. Like when I was in year 12, when I was size 12 and constantly being like friend zoned or constantly being like disregarded and disrespected by even people physically moving me to the side, compared to now when I'm size 8, and because I'm slimmer now, I'm not just a dark-skinned black woman, but now I'm the idealized, I'm the more palatable dark-skinned black woman. Seeing the how people interact with me now, it was mad. Absolutely. It was mad. Like, I wasn't fat, but it's because I had an insight to a slightly bigger experience, and now because I'm quite slim, I'm like, now you guys are all mad. Different. You guys are all mad.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And how it's projected onto you is so unfair, because it's like I just be living my, do you know what I mean? Like, you're like, I'd be living my size 12 life, but because you're all having a problem with it, now there becomes an issue that, like, now I've got to concentrate on what it's like to have a different body shape. Like,
and think about what you're even saying. Size 12 isn't like that. That's not an issue at all. Just because
I think I was a size 12 when I was like 10 years old. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't matter. And I'm not being funny, but like, I'm 16 years old. Why the fuck are you concerned about my dress size? Why are you concerned about my dress size?
Thank you. Yeah.
It's creepy and it's weird.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And I was having this conversation with a friend, and she was saying, she's like bigger than me, fat girl. Yeah. And she was saying, like, I think if I was slimmer, if I'd lost weight, I think more, I'd meet more people, I think I'd sleep with more people, I think I'd date more people, chat. And I was like, hold on, that's all well and good, that potentially you will, and people will treat you differently. Yeah. But do you want those people in your life?
Exactly.
Do you want that?
Exactly.
No, like if someone's going to look at me when I'm a size 10 but not look at me sat here right now, I'm the same fucking person.
Tell them.
Like, that's not my problem, you know? Like, why should you then go, I need to be slimmer in order to be noticed by fucking men? Do you know what I mean? Like, no, or like to have a relationship. And that's a whole different question, being worthy of relationships and all of that, and relationships in general, because I believe we should be whole as ourselves, but that's a whole different conversation.
You know what I mean?
Podcast, babe. I'll come back.
Please do.
But like, it's just that thing of people might accept you more when you're in a smaller body size, but then that just means that they shouldn't be in your life.
Exactly. I literally was listening to Kelechi's podcast the other day, and she always says this statement. It's like, whoever's for you will never leave you.
I love that.
And it's so true. Because if I'm getting attention from these wayward people when I'm more palatable, more fitting to their ideal, then that means that they're only taking a facet of me. But I'm a multifaceted girl. I'm a multifaceted person. Like, you need to see me in my entirety to have the opportunity to even... I don't even know.
No,
like,
100%.
I don't even know where to land, because like, I'm just so... It's a whole ethos of the podcast. It's like, I'm multifaceted. I want to be seen in my entirety. I have so much sauce. Yeah. And it's a privilege for you to even get to know me on a friendship level, romantic level, sensual level, platonic, I don't know, whatever level you're at, it's a privilege to get to know me. So you will accept me in my entirety, or you'll leave. Yeah. And that's it. Like, you don't need to know me.
Yeah, and that's the thing with women, is that women are placed in this box of, you need to look a certain way, and that will fit completely your entirety. And actually is when we need to be going, no, my body is the last thing you need to be worrying about. You need to be worrying about my mind, about my personality, about the passion I have, about the impact I'm going to make in this world. Exactly. Yeah. My body is the last thing you need to be worrying about. And because women are so boxed into, you have to look a certain way, that then means that as soon as you are slimmer, you're then more accepted by people. Bullshit.
Tell them. No, we're not having it. We're not having it. And you're so right. Period.
Periods. There's one thing I'd also want to touch on, because you mentioned GP consultations earlier and being in the doctors. And something that, yes, understandable, like being able to have that conversation in the first place about weight and about fatness is really important. But also I think it's really important to realise, in the same way that there's racism when you go to the hospital and doctors, there's also fat phobia.
Oh, completely.
So there's women that won't be diagnosed because they're fat. Someone can go in for a hearing issue and lose weight. They can, like, I've got a friend who had a liver or kidney problem, and she'd been at multiple different weights still with this problem, and the only thing that they advised her to do was lose weight. And the best thing I ever heard was, if you are in a doctor's surgery and they are telling you to lose weight to try and fix a problem, to ask, if I was in a smaller body, what would you recommend me? And that was the best thing I heard, because it's that thing of, it takes you out of it. It takes the fatness out of it. And it takes the fat phobia out of it. And it also puts the light on the doctor rather than you.
Exactly.
Because actually it shouldn't be on you. It should be on them being able to treat you as a human being.
Amazing.
And as a body. And your fatness doesn't define you in multiple ways, in the same way it doesn't define your health. And so actually asking that question, if I was in a smaller body, what would you recommend me, or what would you prescribe me? Because then, sadly, chances are they might have answers. And actually then you are well within your right, as that patient, as that human being, to go, I would like to try that one. I would like more information. And if they deny you, get them to put it on the record, because it needs to be on the record.
100%.
With anything, with racism and fat phobia and ableism and everything. But I think it's important to go, just because I'm fat does not mean that my ear is aching. Like, and I think it's really important for women to realise that when they go into somewhere like that, it can be terrifying, because often I've been in for all kinds of stuff and they've weighed me, and I go, why are you weighing me? I'm coming to you because I've got I've got KP on my legs. I'm coming for that. Why are you weighing me? Because there are size 8 women that have KP. There are size 22 women. So why? And it's the silliest things you go in for that they weigh you for. And so I think it's really important to be going, yes, it's a really scary space, but going in with that mindset of, I deserve the treatment, and I deserve
your body.
You know your body, as a woman, as a fat woman, as a black woman, as a disabled woman, like you deserve that space to be listened to. So asking those questions, what would you do if I was in a smaller body or something like that? That's just something that was really helpful to me, and so I just thought I'd share it.
No, please, I'm all here for tips, tricks. Like, honestly, like my plan is, I would help save the NHS. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Somehow, if I could just hold it on my back.
Literally, like, if I could just sit with people in their consultations to be the eyes and ears of what's going on, I'd be like, actually, that person needs to do this, because like so much gets lost in communication or non-verbal communication. So much gets lost. So I think I'm really happy that you mentioned that. Thank you so much. Amazing. Well, I've burnt some, in a sense.
Beautiful.
I'm going to start saging some cards. But that means that it's tarot talk. I'm excited.
I'm really excited for this.
Have I ever given you a tarot reading before?
You haven't, but I have had tarot readings from other people.
Amazing.
So I'm really intrigued.
Lovely. So I'm just going to burn some sage, and should we have a little break? So we're in tarot talks, and I was just talking to Genesia here about how she's feeling about tarot talks. Like, is there any indication or ideas of what you want to ask today?
Yeah, so something like from this conversation, I think the really important trajectory is to be pushing this. And I think personally for me, being able to continue this kind of conversation in my everyday life, but also how can I bring it to people that wouldn't necessarily hear it, but also bring it into, like, for example, because I act, bring it into the acting industry and how important it is to be having that body positivity as well with like casting and things like that. So something that's really important for me is the whole of 2020 has been a write-off, so how can we really make the most of the end couple of months of really pushing this idea of like self-love and self positivity.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I would love if you could just put those cards into 2 piles. First pile. Well, actually, no, I won't tell you what the first pile is. However, I would like to take you into 2 piles, and I just want to sort of understand how we're going to incorporate the conversation of today into other aspects of our life, as well as bring that energy, bring that momentum to the rest of 2020. So yeah, so can you please...
Of course I can. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, can you pick a card from that deck?
This one?
Yeah.
Any card?
Any card. Amazing.
There you go.
Lovely. Oh, I got this card yesterday, which is kind of interesting. Okay, and now can you pick a card from that deck?
Of course.
Amazing. Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
I love that.
So, I want to put these cards here. I'm like blowing. I'm blowing the
Oh,
incense.
so
I'm blowing the
gently.
ash. But it's not even a light.
There we go.
Smoking. Amazing. Okay, so we're back. Pulled out some 2 cards for Genesia, and the first card that we pulled out was the 3 of Cups. When we see the 3 of Cups, we see 3 ladies, or 3 individuals dancing. They're merry, they're happy, they're it talks about a time of celebration, right? However, we got the card upside down, right? And when you get it upside down, it can indicate that one individual may need alone time because they've been celebrating too much. Or maybe an individual is a part of Three's a Crowd. So maybe they're in an environment where they're feeling that they're not actually getting the same treatment or the same feelings or the same emotions as their peers. 3 of Cups can also talk about friendship fallouts and independence. When you look at 3 as a number, it's like to do with growth and sort of expansion, but because it's related to cups, you're talking about your emotional ideal. So shared. If me and you both have joy, it's shared, right? However, if I have disappointment, if I have discomfort, it's on my own, you know? And when you see the 3 of Cups, it sort of highlights sharing your cup with individuals and sort of the higher, lighter times of life where one's maybe drinking, one's maybe seeking enjoyment in various ways. But because you got the card upside down, that might be saying you're having too much of it or you're having too little of it.
Okay, yeah.
Or take it as you can. But it can also talk about this sort of... I bring this up because I got the card yesterday, and when I was going through the card yesterday, it talked about this theme called mean girl syndrome, and it talked about how regardless of how you like identify in gender wise, it talks about how we have this ability to act like Regina George, right?
Yeah.
But we choose not to. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure people listening to this podcast, even you know some Regina Georges in your life, you know?
Yes.
And I think because we got that card that is that card present, it sort of acknowledges that there's confliction of different interests, confliction of various people's emotions and beliefs, and that's going to influence the sort of group whole or the group momentum, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing is, the next card you got was the 6 of Swords. And the 6 of Swords is an individual that is with an older person, I think. The older person... Well, no, I think in the book it's an older person. But anyway, you got this huge black staff, right? Mm-hmm. And this staff is to help you guide your way as you move forward, but also it's helping you, it shows your confidence, it shows your commitment. Because you're with family members, it shows that you have decided to take what's of value to you to your next journey. But both of these cards, actually, or maybe I should turn them upside down because I just realised like I've been talking about them. But both of these cards, because they are reversed, it's talking about a more independent personal transition than it is to as a collective whole. I actually picked up a clarifier during the reading because I just wanted to get a bit more insight in the message, and we got the 10 of Wands upright. And when you look at wands, it's to do with energy, drives, motivations. So if you've got 10 of them, you have 10 energies competing for your attention. You are now overburdened with your attention. You might have stress. It might even mean inaction or procrastination because you've got so many things to sort of put your well, that has your attention, you know? So in relation to your question, how can I use this momentum to, till the end of 2020, how can I incorporate this into my acting, into sort of other facets of my life? I would say the Third of Cups reminds you that independence and following your own metric, following your own belief system is best because there might be conflicting energies, people, ideals around you that might evoke their mean girl syndrome mean girl syndrome, and that might stall a movement or a group or like something sort of propelling forward in a forward motion.
Yeah, for sure.
The Six of Swords says that you're getting there, you've transitioned. Six of Swords is all to do with your mind. So it's changing perspective. It's using that independence and moving with it to better. Because like even in the card, you can see how there's like, here it's all like crazy water, but here it's completely clear.
Water,
so it's like, you know, there will be turbulence on the way. However, you're still going forward because that's your destination. And I think because you've got the Ten of Pentacles as well, it just talks about like being overburdened of energy. Like you may even want to choose physical exercise, or like you may want to choose like, I don't know, to do an activity that helps take away the energy. Because I know when I'm really like burdened with all these things I have to do, I'll just dance. Because I'm like, oh, I need to get this energy out of me. Like I need to get it. Like, do you know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah. What do you think so far? Like what?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think it's really interesting actually. Like it's that thing of like the second one.
Yeah.
Is it the Six?
Six of Swords.
Six
yes.
of Swords. I can't count.
Don't
so
worry.
the Six of Swords, that whole thing of
it's in Roman numerals, to be fair.
Yeah, like I understand the. Like it's that thing of like I'm already grounded in what I need to do.
Exactly.
And I already understand that there's gonna be turbulence, but like I understand that there's like still water ahead.
Yeah.
But then that thing of actually I can potentially get bogged down with procrastinating, or get bogged down in putting other things first or other people first, or clouding my judgment with what other people should think or should believe. And so I think it's really interesting, that thing of actually what I take from this really is hone my energy in and trust myself. Yeah. You know, like actually, like because of the Six of Swords, it's saying you got it. Like you kind of are there, but you just need to.
Oh my god.
Like you just need to hone in that energy and like visualize like that kind of final result, if you know what I mean. And I think it's telling me to stop procrastinating.
Do you know what, like this is so fitting. I just bought a new deck, and it's Pink Cat Daily. It's honestly gorgeous. I'm gonna put the first. Actually, no. Let me you have a look at it first.
Oh,
look, what does that say?
God!
I was gonna ask you to pick a card, but that one just flew out, so I'm taking with it.
Perfect.
So the card that we got is the Empress. The Empress. I want to say she's what number is she in deck? I want to say she's number 4 or 3, I can't remember. I think I think she's number 3. Yeah, she's number 3. So 3 again, 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. 3, 6, 10. Sorry, I was just counting. So 3 is that sort of that triangle, the stability, the growth, the expansion. With the Empress, it talks about using your feminine energy specifically to create, to shape, to curate the so you could pass me an energy, a project, an object. However, it is with my divine feminine that I will create it, shape it, make it into mine. Yeah. It will be fueled with love and abundance and sensuality and nurturing energy, because it's to do with this sort of showing off one's talents, but knowing that that's already satisfied in self. You know, it's already like, I have an infinite pool of love, abundance, like fertility, emotion, creativity, everything, right? So because I have that, when I move into the world, everything is going to be heightened.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Because
Yeah.
if I move like the Empress, right, and I have to navigate certain situations, whether that's in acting, whether that's conflicting energies, maybe that's mean girl syndrome, but maybe it takes energy out of me because I'm so burdened with that stress of the multiple things that I have to do.
Yeah.
It could take me off balance, but the Empress encourages you to rejuvenate from the pool that is you, whether that is like simple creating, or maybe that's like, I don't know, more sensual activities, maybe that's like spending time in nature, because that's another way of connecting back to the source, connecting to Mother Nature, the divine feminine, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing I get from just the fact that it's called the Empress,
you know,
it's like if a woman is regal and is in royalty, a queen or an empress or whatever, they have that like solid knowledge of their like femininity, I suppose.
Yeah, their
wealth. Their worth, exactly, and their valuability. And so I think it's really interesting because it's like, take that with you. Like like it's here, it's present, and it's about not procrastinating. It's about putting the energies into the right spaces, and continuing on the path.
Because that's the thing with the Empress, you do have freedom of expression, and because you're a human being, a multifaceted one at that, you choose what expression that will be. And yes, sort of delving into the divine feminine is reminds you that it's like infinite, you know, like if even the fact that your mind has taken you on, oh, maybe that will look different there, that's adding your physical touch to it, that's as adding your sort of I don't know, like your love, your sentiment, like you're leaving it with the world, but you're like, I don't know, it's yours.
Yeah, it's like your little imprint on the world.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that. That's a really nice. I love that card so much. It's so pretty.
It's such a pretty card. I'm so happy that I got these today.
Yeah.
Like, just beautiful. Yeah. And I love, like, even when you look at the images, like, the fact that she's got the crown with the 12. Yeah. Oh, it's just gorgeous. I'll let
And
there.
it's like her third, like, she's got a third eye, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So she's got her third, is it an eye? Oh, maybe I'm lying.
In the
crown,
original Empress card, she's got the crowns to symbolise the 12 astrology signs.
Oh, incredible!
And it's like, I love astrology as well, because astrology shows anyone how multifaceted they are, you know. And like that's incorporated in the Empress, which is the divine feminine, which is the whole thing that we were talking about throughout the whole podcast. You know, amazing.
Yeah, amazing. I feel so seen. I feel very validated.
I love that. I'm so happy that you feel validated. No, I had so much fun with it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that takes us to the last segment. And that's called the direct message.
Yes.
And for the direct message, you'd have to leave listeners a little take-home message.
Ooh.
Do you know what you're leaving messages with?
Oh, I mean, I have so many.
Yeah. No, do you want me to go first?
You go first and I'll
let me go first. So, with listeners this week, I am going to leave you with an affirmation. The affirmation is a bit of wordplay, but if you can say it, you're on your way to being an empress, okay? So you have to say it too, okay? So it's divine feminine energy.
Divine feminine energy.
Flower child princess.
Flower child princess. Queen.
Now say it all together in one word.
Say it with me.
Divine feminine energy.
Feminine energy.
Flower child. Princess queen. Divine feminine
energy.
Flower child. Princess queen. Divine feminine energy. Flower child. Princess queen. There
yes.
You go. Like,
I love that. I've heard it from you before.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I was looking at the podcast and I was like, what does this one? Yeah, divine feminine energy, flower child, princess queen.
Absolutely.
Say it with chest. Say it with love.
Say it with abundance. Say it before you go to bed.
Exactly.
Say it when you're down. Say it when you're up.
Exactly. Say it when you're down. Say it when you look in the mirror.
Absolutely.
You know, just divine feminine energy, flower child, princess queen. Like, it's weird because it's such a long thing to say. It's like, blah, 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 blah. But it takes you out of your feelings.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
It sort of like shocks you or changes your normal day of activity to think about something brighter. So that's my little
For sure. It can focus your mind as well. Yeah. You're concentrating on the words and beautiful.
Exactly. That's my little DM for this week.
Lovely message. I think I'm going to just say to remember that the person that's going to be with you through everything, every up, every down, is yourself. And you have to be gentle with that. You have to take care of that. You have to understand that, people, like, friendships will come and go. You might have one relationship for the rest of your life. You might have different relationships, but that one person that's going to see you in every minute, every second of your life is you. And so if you don't treat yourself like the best friend that you are, then you're failing yourself, because you need to see how important and how valued and how loved you are to yourself, because you're the person that's going to be in every single second of your life, and no one else is going to see you in the way you see you. People will perceive you in a million different ways, but you can only perceive yourself as your true self. So you need to be gentle, you need to be kind, and you need to take that space to call out what is real and say it in the mirror, and just talk about yourself with love and passion, and be passionate about yourself. That's the most important thing. The world should revolve around you. Your own world should revolve around you.
We're all the centre of our own universe.
Yes!
So why don't we do more to treat us? I forgot my...
Do about to treat yourself.
It's true. Like, I heard advice the other day when I was listening to tarot, and it was like, girl, do you know what you need to do? You need to talk to yourself like you talk to your crush. I was like... Absolutely. Wow. I just got read for film.
Yeah, like, take yourself on dates. Like, fall in love with yourself. Absolutely.
Amazing. Oh, Genesia, you've been incredible.
No, you've been incredible. Thank you so much for this.
This is honestly... been such a fun episode to record with you. Please, can you... I'm just so sad it has to end.
I'm sad it has to end.
But please, can you tell listeners where they can find you?
Oh, of course. So I am on Instagram mainly, and that's at Genesia Mary. So Genesia, Genesia, Mary, like the Virgin Mary. And... I mean, I'm on Twitter, but I'm a voyeur on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, we'll add the socials in anyway.
Add the socials in, but give me a follow. Drop me a message if you ever want to chat. I'm always here. I'm always here for pumping people up. So
honestly, you've been great. This has been such a fun episode. I'm just happy now. I'm so happy.
I'm gonna go into the rest of the day glowing.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, thank you everyone for listening. I've been your host, Sarah DM. This has been DM Talks. You can catch us on YouTube and Spotify. But yeah, thank you. I shall speak to you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.